strong matters as well as in all worldly matters, to stand above all material things and to be advisors for all human life forms, so for the forms of government as well as for those human beings living under these. But the group members should not be governors but rather teachers in all interests, so also counselors in advice-giving positions, as this is given by the laws and commandments in cosmic form. So this also means not to be governing but rather teaching, which is why the position is designated as a teacher and instructor, which isn't to be equated in any way with an executive power and with gain in material regard. Thus, it concerns a leading in spiritual value toward the concepts of justice, love, knowledge, and wisdom, which is why the life form exercising this value is called a spiritual leader. The value of a spiritual leadership, however, lies in the fact that only teaching and advice-giving occur in one's performance of duty, without any ambition toward commands, so exercised and given in authoritative modesty. 8. It is given that the ordinal rules, which were already worked out at an earlier time in an advice-giving manner for the internal grouping, are to be recognized in all details and are to be acquired for application through thorough study, in order to find appropriate use and observance in the future. 9. The leading of the group and all of its interests is to be organized and put into appropriate ordinal rules, according to which also the spreading of the teaching, the entire construction, and the interests can be exercised in an authoritative and pertinent form. These ordinal rules should be determined in the form of an alliance and should be worked out and drawn up by the internal group. It is still to be explained that the concerns declared now are final and can no longer be subject to change. This is truly the last worked out possibility of a solution from the High Council, which is definitely the last. But should the factor of negations and disorder appear contrary to expectations, again in the forms as they were given up to now, it would mean the absolute and complete destruction of the entire mission. Nothing could be done or undertaken any more, in order to find a possibility and solution again for the continued existence and the continuation of the mission. Over several millennia, more precisely said, approximately 14,30 years, precipitations of quite malicious values, which endangered all our plans and the whole mission, have entered over and over again. The requisitioned earth human beings, who were prepared for the task and who declared themselves ready for it at earlier times as other personalities, often became disloyal as a result of materialism on the one hand and as a result of their egoism on the other hand. This, however, may no longer occur in the future, otherwise, this time, everything will be destroyed up to total annihilation. Hence, it is given that every single group member strives from now on in the very best manner and without any proselytizing of everything, so for the interests of the group and its existence as well as for the dissemination and expansion of the teaching among and to all those life forms, who have already further developed themselves in their evolution to such an extent that they are interested in it in a sincere form and even begin to recognize and understand the truth slowly or in already large measures. But given very first in line is the strict and rigorous effort of self-evolution in the highest possible measure, which is fundamentally connected with a strict control based on all individual, personal and negative characteristics, desires, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions, etc. of each group member. Thus, as soon as possible, such negative characteristics must be brought under control in order gradually to eliminate them completely and replace them with valuable characteristics that are to be newly developed in the sense of fulfilling the laws and commandments within the scope of the complete teaching of the Spirit. This means very hard work and a new learning time for each group member, that is very clear to us. But as each group member wants to progress in his evolution from now on in good measure and wants to be successful, a strict policy must be set up by each individual, and this must be accepted and implemented by the individual. Billy says, and how should these look? Quetzal says these are to be prepared by each group member individually, according to one's sense of understanding and intellect in its own value. Billy says so each group member must break his head over it himself. Quetzal says that is of correctness. With that, we have met the workload of our current work with your things and now have to go. But it is now necessary, due to the advance time, that we perform a leap back in time, for otherwise, we won't be back in time for the fulfillment of our duty. Semjase says the data are already set. Quetzal says that is good. Billy says then let's go. Oh, we're already here again. That was fast. Well then, till we meet again, children, and all the best. Semjase says till we meet again, my friend. Farewell. Quetzal says till we meet again, my friend, and pay everyone my dear greetings. Semjase says please don't forget those for me, too. Billy says okay. How high are we now? It seems damn high to me. Quetzal says at 40,30 meters. Billy says well, then bye, I'll now jump into the void there. Hopefully, you'll turn on the damn converter in time, or whatever it may be, otherwise, I'll just rush into the void and then look at the daces below. It would really make no difference to me. By then, you too, maybe it is. The end.